Who are you here to see?
Mr. Gerard, you.
It's your guess. You can talk to any one of us, but we're certainly not going to tell you our names.
It's strange.
Why not?
Come sit down.
It's fine, I'm just going to wait for Mr. Gerard.
Because what requirement do I have to give you my name?
Well, I know your name.
Every step of the way, you're going to have to break down which statutory act you're acting under. I will then jot them down. I will then look them up. If I find you haven't stuck to the word on these statutory acts, I will then come after you and sue you. And if you don't think I'm capable of that, I suggest you go talk to Simon Wiles at the council, who's currently being sued by me, and also the police, and also Barclays Bank. Just so you understand, I don't mess around. The council are doing some of the most corrupt stuff under God's own earth, and you come here and talk to me about an obscenity I've scrawled on their letters threatening imprisonment if we don't hand over our hard-earned cash. Yet when I ask them, where do you spend this hard-earned cash, do you know what they say?
No?
We don't know. We haven't got a clue. We can't possibly tell you that. So when I ask them why there's 3 million sitting in an Icelandic bank account, do you know what I get? Oh, we got that money back when the bank collapsed. When I say to them, why do you hire the magistrate's court on a Monday morning, and I've got evidence of this, they go to me, we do no such thing. I say, why are you breaching the Justices Act 1944 by hiring a courtroom, sitting your own staff in it, calling people to it, and not telling them? We do no such thing. Can you show me the liability orders? Oh, we don't have them. The magistrate court's got them. So I ring up the magistrate's court requesting liability orders, and you know what they said to me? It's council business. So when 2 policemen turn up at my door and say to me, you have sworn on a piece of paper, I say to them, Halsbury's law clearly states...
It's us. You're not saying to them, you're saying to us, aren't you?
I'm trying to explain where I'm coming from.
Oh, okay.
Halsbury's law states that administration courts, this includes Crown courts, magistrates courts, county courts, have no power. Now, Halsbury's law, look it up, please. It clearly states this. So when this council, who breaches every rule known to man by hiring the court themselves, instigating their own summons, sending out their own liability orders, which are perjured and fraudulent, hiring courtrooms, doing all of that, they're breaking not only the Justices Act 1944, not only are they breaching Halsbury's law, they have no standing. They are completing total and complete fraud to a degree I cannot even describe to you.
When I spoke to your family yesterday, they were a bit concerned that you might have some mental health issues.
Who did you speak to?
I spoke to a lady here yesterday, and is it your brother?
That's because you scared them.
No, they were a bit worried about you.
No, you scared them.
No, they were fine yesterday.
I fight the system, that's what I do. Trust me, if you're worried about me, that's a damn good sign, my friend.
Okay.
Because I don't comply.
Let me show you.
And I do not listen to what you're going to now say to me when I say to you, councils are raping and pillaging and taking from people that are committing suicide over bedroom tax, that are homeless because they can't afford to live in their own homes. 100,000 old people died last year. Do the council give a shit? No. They want their tax.
Nicola, we're not here to talk to you.
You will get lectured. You've come here about a swear word I put on a piece of paper. I'm not interested in any statutory law. I don't care whether I breached one or not. Do you understand? Because the laws they are breaking surpass anything I could fathomably do. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So when 2 policemen turn up here, when I could point you in the direction of 20 million paedophiles sitting in the House of Commons and say to you, go do your fucking job over there, and you come here because I wrote an obscenity on a piece of paper and some dickhead in council's got rattled. Do you see where I'm coming from? Do you grasp where I'm coming from? And you come and tell me I'm insane.
No, I'm not saying you're insane. At all. I think...
Do you understand how passionate I am about this corruption we live under?
I think... I've met lots of people like you, Nicola. I think, unfortunately...
I mean, when they gave you this, did you not say, well, yeah, the council are committing a lot of corruption and stuff. It's all in collusion with the courts and the police, so everyone's covering each other's backs.
Do you just want to take a picture of this then, that you sent?
I've already put them all over Facebook.
Oh, well, there you go, if you're going to put a film on.
Everybody who's watching this or listening to this on YouTube and Facebook, these are the things I have blatantly put all over the internet. This is what I do to people who demand money from me under threat of imprisonment, who put a gun to my head and tell me they will bang me up. This is what I do. I openly admit it. This is what I do. There you go.
Okay.
And your names?
I'm Peter Norman, Superintendent from South Yorkshire Police.
And you?
I'm Carl Goodwin from South Yorkshire Police, PC.
You'll be on Facebook and YouTube, so
Okay.
I do have a lot of followers, so you'll be quite famous after this point.
Famous or infamous?
Pick your choice.
Okay. But the reason why we've come, Nicola, seriously, is clearly if you've got an issue, if you've got a point,
I do.
then yeah,
You
good, I
have
can
to. You have
understand,
to. You
yeah.
have to remember the fact this is not a recent thing. This started 5 years ago, and I kindly asked Simon Wiles and David Forster at the council, please.
Well, shall we
Just tell
shall we
me.
sit down rather than stand up. Is
Yeah,
that all
sure.
right? Cool.
So please tell me. Kindly explain to me where my council tax is going, where my parents' council tax is going, what we're all paying for, what people are paying
I'll
for.
just stick it on there and then we can...
Indeed. So I asked them this.
What did they
5
say?
years ago. I can show you the emails I got because I actually printed them all out. They didn't have anything to tell me.
Right.
So we broke it down. I said, okay, 350 public services, 300 onto pension, council workers' pensions. The remainder, where's it going? No, nothing. So I said, okay, fine, you can't tell me, I'm not paying you. That was
Did you
my
get a copy of
premise.
their accounts then, or are
They want
publicly
nothing.
available?
They won't
You
give
can
me
do, like,
anything.
you can do
I've
all
asked for
kinds.
expense accounts. I've asked for audits. I've just recently done a Freedom of Information request, which has come back saying they won't do it.
Right.
So now I've got to resubmit it in 3 Freedom of Information requests.
Yeah, I was going to say FOI is the
So
best
I've got to
way.
go and do all that. I've done SARS. I've done it all. Trust me, I'm not a stupid person. I know when to get information, how to get information. So I've done it all. Simon Wiles and anyone else at Doncaster Council were made clear time ago, politely, in civil letters, and I wrote civil letters for 3 years. They would not stop harassing us and threatening us with imprisonment for not paying them taxes that they couldn't tell us where they were going.
Which taxes is it that you've not been paying
Council
then?
tax,
Right.
which isn't even a tax. If you actually look at the definition of the word tax, it's not a tax.
What is
So-
it then?
It's just a local authority that's basically ripping people.
Like a
It's like a
charge.
mafia racket. It's like a
Charge.
protection racket.
Right.
It's not a tax. It can't even come classed under that, but yet they call it that. Then I even went to them about the 92 council tax enforcement regulations and said, I read them word for word. Nowhere does it say anyone has legal obligation to pay council tax. So then I went back with that and said, can you just show me which paragraph, which section it says I must pay you? Are you interested to know that you don't actually have to pay it?
I'm interested, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right. Go on
Right,
then.
so now go read the night count. Whenever you go anywhere with council tax, they'll always come out with the same thing. Council tax regulations and enforcement from 92. They're the ones they always go back to.
Right.
Go read that. Now, when you read that, you're going to be very interested to find out. It says nothing in there about your obligation to pay it, but there's a hell of a lot written in that about the council's right, supposedly legally, to enforce it. So essentially, they can force it until they break you and you hand it over. But you don't have to hand it over. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's a battle of wills. Who's going to win out?
Right. So how long have you not been paying your council tax for then?
For the 4 or 5 years since I never got a reply to where the money goes.
Right. So you like subject to enforcement action at the moment then? Is that why?
No, we get letters, threats
Oh,
and
right.
letters, and then we get the constant liability orders have been granted at Magistrates Court.
Right.
We get the arrest warnings have been arrest demands or committal warrants. We get all of that. So every time I get a letter, I write back and say, yes, thank you. Could you just send me the committal warrant? Should be signed, stamped, wet ink signature, and I should be able to read the magistrate's name in it so I can verify these documents. I never, ever, once have received a legitimate document out of court or council that bears any resemblance to something that remotely is lawful. Never once, and that's 5 years of this.
Right.
And now I have compiled a dossier on Wiles and Roger Harvey,
Right.
which are the 2 people I'm currently dealing with in the council.
Right.
And when I've amassed enough information and bring it to the police, are the police going to act on any of this? Because
Depends.
it's not just happening here, it's happening countrywide.
I mean, the thing with the police is that we deal obviously with the criminal law and a lot
They're
of what...
breaking criminal law.
Yeah, but again, ultimately, what you're taught, and I don't disagree with you in theory, but the councils act generally within the civil law, don't they?
Yeah, but they're not allowed to issue their own summons.
No, yeah, I appreciate that.
But
But
yet
again,
they do.
but that's something that we have no dealings with in terms of the police.
But they're breaking the
service.
law. The justice
Yeah,
is
but-
out there so they can't issue their own
Right,
summons.
I appreciate that, but ultimately that would be dealt with civilly by the civil judges. Have you got a solicitor involved, or you saw any
I
kind
don't
of
trust
legal?
solicitors. Solicitors work for the bar.
Right.
I mean, prostitutes solicit themselves, but at least they charge an honest wage for it. What do solicitors do? They're the worst.
Right. Have you ever used a solicitor?
Never will. If I can't do it myself, I won't hire a solicitor. I just won't do it.
Right.
Simple
Okay.
as that. Anything they can learn, I can go out and learn.
So have you received any summonses then to go before the magistrates' court for payment?
Not any summons from magistrates' court. Yes, I've received plenty of summons from the council, pretending to be from magistrates' court. That's what you're referring to. Plenty of them.
Have you replied to them then?
Old days, civil letters. New days, go fuck yourself.
Do you think that's appropriate?
Oh my God. Let's go just for 1 second.
Remember, we're policemen.
Let's just go.
We're not sat around the pub.
You know
are
what
we?
gets me is the amount of suffering and pain in this world, and the amount of things our countries, the Western governments, the USA, in UK and Russia supplying arms to all these third world countries who are killing themselves because we're supposedly the people here are getting rich off these arms deals. Now when people say to me, you've blasphemed or you've used an expletive, and I just look at them and think, and that's the worst of your worries. Our world is going to hell in a handbasket due to this greed of this 1% that are controlling 99% of the world's resources. So when I swear and effing blind, yeah, and someone brings me up on it, I honestly say the Rotherham paedophile scandal, the Doncaster paedophile scandal, which will come out, trust me. It's just a matter of time. Every council is being shown up for what they've covered up.
Right.
It's a matter of time. And so forgive me if I don't understand when you say to me, is it appropriate? Nothing's appropriate. Nothing is appropriate. It's not appropriate that that 80-year-old killed herself because she couldn't afford a bedroom tax. And the council didn't give a shit. That's not appropriate. It's not appropriate. I've got friends who are homeless now because they can't afford to pay rent. It's not appropriate. I've got other friends stood at food banks. It's not appropriate. So trust me, swearing
Do you think that's
is
the appropriate way to deal with your dispute with them? Or?
It is appropriate now, because now I don't give a shit, as you can possibly see by my attitude. I'm not afraid of anything. I couldn't care less if you arrested me, though you won't, because I know my ins and outs and probable cause and the rest of it. I don't care if you take and put me into jail. I'm not afraid. Do you understand? I have nothing to lose other than to gain my freedom. That's
Yeah,
it.
I mean, from our perspective, I mean, I can see you're passionate and that you've done some research and things. And again, I'm not belittling you, but there's the civil law and there's the criminal law.
The way I look at it, if
And-
justice is act as law and it's
Yeah.
broken, it's criminal.
I appreciate that, but we as police officers, we learn and we understand the criminal law and things like the Public Order Act are sort of the day-to-day things that we deal with. And you may feel that you haven't broken any law because you're fighting a battle, aren't you? In terms of
You know,
what you think is
I'm
wrong.
fighting a battle. Believe you me, I want to live my life peacefully. They keep bringing it.
Right.
That's all I want. Do I not, as a human being on this planet Earth, deserve to live my life peacefully?
Yeah, we all want that, don't we?
So why do they keep bringing it to me?
I think they'll see it as that you've not
Pay
paid
your way, pay your dues.
Yeah.
Yet when I say my dues ain't going where you're saying they're going, mate, here's the crux. This is the crux, yeah? Forget everything else, yeah? This is the crux. Westminster, where all the oligarchs live, where all the flipping MPs and all the rich folk live, pay the same council tax as a slot. What does that tell you?
Well, there's different bandings, isn't there?
No, bollocks, they're Band H. That's
Right.
mansion tax.
Right.
You tell me why mansion tax, Band H in Westminster are paying $1,100 to $1,400 a year in council tax.
Again, I don't know. I'm just a policeman, Nikki.
Hazard a guess.
I don't know.
Nikki, if we talk about this then, if you're sending offensive letters to people, you
They're not offensive. They're offensive what they're
Let
sending
me-
to me,
let me
love.
finish what I'm
What
saying
can
to
you do? Tell me, what can you do?
You commit offences under the Miscellaneous
What can you
Communications
do?
Act,
Right, okay.
Public Order Act. You're offending people.
Right.
It's not an appropriate way to deal with your dispute with the council, is it?
Okay.
Do you agree?
Right, well now I'm suing them, so now that is appropriate.
Right. But do you think it's all right to be sending offensive emails and letters to the council in that
They're
manner
obviously
you
affected
just
by
stated?
it.
Do you think it's all right?
They're obviously affected by it, right?
I think, Nikki, it's because the people that you write to, they aren't the ones that open these. These
They
are,
all work there.
Yeah, but it's people that have got jobs, Nikki.
Excuse me, they said that at Nuremberg and they shot them all up,
it's
lined them up and
explained-
shot them all.
The council
We're Doncaster,
employ lots
aren't
of
we?
If
people.
anyone's capable of critical thought, yeah, they no longer have that. I'm just doing my job.
They're opening letters. They're providing for their families and
Well, then
paying
maybe they
their
should
mortgage
wake
and
up.
stuff. And
I wouldn't commit an immoral act to provide for my family or anyone else. I wouldn't do it.
They won't
I'd
see
go,
it.
go on the street and starve myself to death before I hurt another human being, or made demands, or
Okay.
acted like a mafia.
But Nikki, there are lots of people that are just basically working to provide for the family, and it's the people who are opening these letters that get offended.
But they're
as
the
well.
same people that send them out.
I don't know that. You don't know that.
I can hazard a guess. I hope it upsets everyone along the chain. The people who open them go to their superiors or line managers, they go to their superiors.